Another thing, pronunciation. Is it Leia or Leah? Is it Han or Han? Is it Chewbacca or Chewbacca? And he goes, I don't care, just say it like that. You mean there's no right way to say these things? Well, it's regional. Yeah. The three of us, we had a goal. We always wanted to cheer George up, because George, when he's filming, is so depressed. You know, we do a big take, you know, they're coming in too fast, and explosions going off, and the take would be over, and you'd look over at George for approval, and you'd just go. Let's do it again, but this time, do it better. I said, Academy-nominated direction. One time, I remember, I don't know, this is a silly anecdote to tell you, but the monster that pulls me under the water in the trash compactor, in the script it said it was a Dianoga, okay? It's never said in the movie, but I love just useless information like that. It's a Dianoga. And underneath our stormtrooper gear, we had scuba gear on. I don't know why, it wasn't that cold, but that's just the way it was. But what happens is every time I went underwater, I have to go upstairs to my dressing room, take off the stormtrooper gear, take off the scuba gear, change my underwear, put on a new scuba outfit, put on a new stormtrooper gear, and then have someone do your hair. Yeah. So it was a real pain. You know, you say, make sure everything's fine before I go underwater. And the only reason I'm telling you this is because it shows you what mood George was in. One time we were just sort of hanging around in the trash compactor, and there's all these floating bits,
all them pieces,
polystyrene, we call it styrofoam. And George was, of course, up here. You know, we were down in the, and he's twisting his beard and sort of frowning, and his usual unhappy self. So he's you know,
you painted a lovely picture of the man.
Well, you know, you can imagine, though. I mean, after all these years of imagining in his head,
he's got to bring it to life.
He has to realize it on film, and it can never match what your imagination is.
Not at all.
And he's got to be worrying about a bazillion different things.
Sure.
And what happened was he and I just linked eyes. We just noticed each other, and just to cheer him up, I took a little piece of polystyrene off my stormtrooper outfit and said, "Pardon me, George, could this be Dianoga poo-poo?" Which, for the younger people, there's a song called "Pardon Me, Boys, is this the Chattanooga Choo-Choo?" And I thought that would make him laugh, and all he did was he walked up to me like this, put his foot on my chest, and pushed me under the water. Now, all right, get him up to the dressing room. Curse you, George. The cinematographer on the original Star Wars set, he said, "Malaban Station?" He said, "Oh, that's where we shot Hard Day's Night." "You shot Hard Day's Night?" And he said, "Yes." And of course, I turned into fanboy. I said, "Oh, what were the Beatles like? What was it like?" And Gil had a little bit of the cantankerous C-3PO in him. Yeah. You know, he tended to see the dark cloud in the silver lining. You know, it was terrible. You know, all those screaming girls. It was, And at dinner one night, he was complaining. He said, you know, because I said, you know, you have to use your imagination because the floating car was added later, really. We had a car, but it was like on a little merry-go-round. It had a bar.
Like a bar on the backside.
So I could pull in, and they could disguise it, and it looked like it was hovering, you know, because it bounced a little bit. Yeah. You know, and I said, well, I guess we'll have to wait till the movies to see what it really looks like. He said, well, I told them, why not just get a real hovercraft? What Star Wars sound do you love? I love any language that you don't understand, whether it's the Jawas, or the what do they call the Sand People? Yeah. He said, no. I want to hear about your career. But he sort of confided in me. He said, you know, I believe I just earned more this morning than I have in my entire career. And I remember his name was Bob Falfa. Yeah. And what I said, I remember I said, I just love the way he said, hey, where'd you get the visa? Expletive. Hey, you guys, our faces are matched on the back of cereal boxes.
I can't believe it. And Harrison like, hey, I didn't get in this business to be on a cereal box.
And I remember when we were promoting the thing, you know, we'd get in the car afterwards and we called him the publicity sheriff because he'd say to Carrie, you know, you were a little glib when you were talking about your mother. But he'd say, you know, I gave an answer where I said, because they were asking him, you know, how much did you make and did you get any of the profits and all that? And I had mentioned, I said, well, you know, we did it because we loved it, and we, you know, I don't even know how much we made. And he, you know, he said, I like that answer. Really? Thanks, Dad.
Because we're in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and there was no Wookiee, it was just Han Solo, and he was like, hey kid, you know, I did my part. You know, so, you know, we're going back to, you know, so, and but anyway, he was saying that we're turning back. And I said, and my character says to him, but we can't turn back. Fear is their greatest defense. I doubt if the actual security there is any greater than it was on Aquila or South. And what there is most likely directed towards a large-scale assault. And I went, who talks like this?
Spoiler alert. No, in the script, the line was, you don't know the truth. Obi-Wan killed your father. And I had a little radio plug in my ear.
Yeah.
And they can whisper. It's so odd, you know, to have like a little Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder saying, hey, Mark. What? Did you watch Goldfinger on TV last night? Yeah. Watch Goldfinger. That was a good one. Yeah. And Kirsch was way across the lagoon, you know, with you know, one of those bullhorns.
Yeah.
So he was like about as far away as where the theater goes up in the back.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, what happened? And I said, oh, well, I was waiting to do my line, and the Rolling Stones singing Fool to Cry came in my ear. All I heard was, many years have I, ooh. A little more, okay, right there. Or sometimes just a stick with a piece of tape. That was good.
That's what they do with me sometimes.
A stick with a piece of tape, and you're looking at the piece of tape on the stick going, but I can be a Jedi.
You do a pretty good Yoda. I think maybe. Well, you know what happened is we all started doing Yoda. Everybody, you know, then we break for lunch and the blue guy would say, to the commissary you are going? Well, to get warmed up to finish. Look, it's me, the Clown Prince of Crime, and also your father. No, that's not true, that's impossible! Get used to it, kiddo. Wonderful writer, Paul Dini wrote some of the best Joker episodes, and all these years later, lines pop into my head like, without that man, crime has no punchline. Wonderful, you know? Because let's face it, it's the Dark Knight that made me the happy camper I am today. How I agonized over how to thank him for that. Perhaps with a cyanide pie in the face, or an exploding whoopee cushion playfully placed in the Batmobile.